Yeah, because
I'm with you.
Because I am going to continue with my obligation to find a new superintendent and approve the budget and finish this school year.
And yeah.
Okay. Any other comments?
Rob, where does that leave the motion?
There's a, well, I mean, you're asking something that you just fired.
Sorry.
So I'm going to refrain from giving any more advice to the board.
Okay.
I'll just add that it's been a pleasure and good luck.
Yeah, so is there public comment from the audience? Would anybody like to make a public comment?
Change is refreshing.
There we go. Good evening. My name is Tim Diaz. I'm a social studies teacher at the high school. I'm also the president-elect of the Pennridge Education Association. Community member. Have lived in this district all my life. My children, I graduated from Pennridge in 1985. Both my children graduated from Pennridge, proud to say. And my grandchildren's going to eventually graduate from Pennridge. First off, I would like to thank Christine Yardley for her service as school board president. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I do know that this is not how we act in Pennridge. This is not how we have a community, run our community. I'm embarrassed. Yesterday there was an article, I believe it was the Morning Call, that stated that school boards are getting divided and to beware of that. There's even a motion in the state legislature that would eliminate the ability of school board directors to cross file. Beware of the partisanship that you're demonstrating. This isn't a game. There's that 7,000 students out there that are depending on you to make appropriate decisions. This isn't about your ego. This isn't about any little bit of power you perceive to have. You can work this out. You can come together. I definitely believe that you are in need of some soul searching. My suggestion is break some bread, have a discussion, and try to solve this problem for the betterment of our students. Thank you.
We're still doing public comment.
Okay. Andrew Rummel from Berksey. The teachers union is unarguably the most powerful force in this state and has been running the education apparatus for far too long. So any decision that they are against, I am for. Teachers union is a coercive organization that forces teachers to be part of their union membership as a condition of employment. So it's refreshing to see, although people have commented, the ones that just left, have commented that this is improper. This is the most functioning I've ever seen this board in years of coming here. And it's a refreshing thing. So I appreciate it. I think we can do better, and I'd like to see this motion approved. Thank you.
Diane Herring, Hilltown Township. I just would like, as probably one of the most long-standing attending members of the public, to thank Mrs. Yardley for her years of service. I can imagine that the choices that you have been making over the years and the conflicts have not been easy, and that you have also probably had to face a significant hurdle personally between work, life, home, kids, and everything else. And you did do this job, which is non-paying, of your own volunteer time. And I would just like to say thank you for that. And as for those of you in the room who may or may not know, Mrs. Yardley and I have not always gotten along on most issues, okay? But I do appreciate and respect the fact of the contribution that she has made. That notwithstanding, I'm actually quite inspired this evening by what has somewhat transpired. For too long now, I think while people may say, such as Mr. Diaz, that you don't want division, as I'm often reminded by my better half, if we all agree on everything, one of us is unnecessary. And sometimes disagreements bring about change, and I think change is needed in several different areas. Personally, while I appreciated the opportunity to participate in the steering committee, I will say I'm very disheartened by that participation. Because when I left that evening, I was simply told that my name was going to be put on a report that the board would vote on. I got a once and done, 2 hours. And my name gets put on something I don't even get to see a draft of. That's concerning for me. And I don't know anybody else who participated other than a few people that I spoke to who also agreed. Deeply concerning. I really hope that in this process, you might want to revisit that. But thank you again for your time and your effort, Mrs. Yardley.
Any other public comment? Okay, so comments from the board.
I would like to make a comment, and it's unfortunate that all of those people walked out. I take offense to being told that we are putting our politics above our principle, because I have sat on this board for 2 years, and I have on multiple occasions put my principles above politics. Actually, I always put my principles above politics, and I have been pleading for months that we do that very thing for my other my colleagues on the board, and that fell on deaf ears. We tried to come together, we tried to have an understanding, we asked that the feelings of the board be presented to the public as a unified front, and we were denied on that. So to have someone come here and say, after the effort that I have made, that there's politics being put ahead of principles, I think they might have it backwards on who it is. That's all I want to say, because I have served with fidelity to this board. I have defended people who are quote-unquote across the aisle. I've never seen myself on this board as anything but a board member. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, and to have that thrown in my face today after the effort that I have made is highly offensive to me. I have been trying to work to bring this board together, and it just wasn't happening. So I just wanted to get that out. I hope that maybe they'll watch the video or not make an effort at all, but for them to walk out, I think, before all the commenting was done was cowardly.
Disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the community.
Well, it's divisive.
Any other board comment?
It's disrespectful.
Okay, so I will call the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay?
Nay.
Was it, nay? Okay, so motion carries 5-4.
Is there any other new business?
No, but I would like to make a comment. I sincerely hope that what happens tonight, what happened tonight, isn't going to be just the beginning of more of the same. I expect that we can come together, and we should come together. And I won't, just because I made this vote tonight, shouldn't be taken as a signal that I would tolerate any kind of idiotic partisanship. So I'm just putting that out there to serve notice. Thank you.
Vice President.
President Pro Temp.
Does anyone, you were pushing your thing, I didn't know if you were continuing to.
I was just going to thank Mrs. Yardley for answering all my beginner questions, and thank you for, helping everybody, that's new on the board. I just wanted to say thank you, because you have helped me and answered my questions.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Bill Kraus as the vice president. I'll second that. Is there any public comment?
Just the same as before. What I said before carries over to this.
Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nay.
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 Who's that? Okay, so that motion,
Sorry. Motion carries 6-3. Okay, announcements. The next regular school board meeting is scheduled for May 14th. We were supposed to have an executive session following tonight's meeting, but we are canceling it, or I'm canceling it. Super executive sessions were held on April 3rd, 4th, and 12th for the purpose of personnel matters. Are there any questions or comments from guests or the press?
Andrew Rumbold from Perksy again. Actually, what I have is pretty timely considering everything that happened here tonight. And I hope this is the start of the board actually running the district as opposed to the administration running the board and expecting them to just rubber stamp things. And the other thing I'll say is that I think, whoever's on the committee right now to negotiate the new contract, you have the full power in this contract to demand that the teachers union collect their own dues and stop having the district collect the money for them. They're a private political organization. They should collect their own dues. I think we saw exactly what they're all about when they get up and walk out of the room like that. So please, make it a point to do that, to demand, it's perfectly legal to demand they collect their own dues. The other thing I wanted to talk about, which, given the change in the legal thing, was the right to know, the unofficial right to know policy of the district. I've made a lot of right to know requests in many different organizations, and I understand how it works. I've had appeals, I've won appeals. There's a right-to-know officer in the district. They're supposed to make a determination about what information is public or not. And when the information is not, then it goes to a 30-day legal review. And I've had these happen. However, what's going on right now is that there's an unofficial policy, according to an email I received back from one of your staff members about my right-to-know request, for the right-to-know request information. It says, Mr. Rumbold, our standard practice is to send all requests to our solicitor for legal review. I'd like to know when that practice was formally approved by the board. It seems like it's a cash cow for the solicitor. They get to review every single one, and I have copies of some, and this was back last year. I mean, things as innocuous as, you know, mailing lists, and stuff that's clearly public information, and yet we're paying the lawyer, you know, maybe hundreds or thousands of dollars a month, as we were reminded by the prior president, who used to get up and admonish the community about how much the district spent on legal fees the month before. So I'd like to see you guys take control of this process, not send every right-to-know request for legal review unless it's really required. I think we have highly paid staff members that are in charge of the right-to-know, and we should be expecting a little bit more of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments?
Good evening, my name's Lee from Perkins, Lee Rush. I don't know why I come to these meetings.
I think the same thing.
Bad TV night. No, it's a bad joke. I know exactly why I come. I woke up this morning in Kansas City, gave a talk to a lot of people about bullying with children. I think some of you know my background. For those of you that don't, I spent many years teaching over at the alternative school in Sellersville for kids that got involved with juvenile court.
A little louder. Can't hear you.
Come on over, I'm tired. Spent my career in education, counseling, conflict mediation, restorative justice. One of my most proud moments years ago, I got inducted to the Wall of Fame. And I admit, when I walk in, I look every now and then, I feel really proud. Graduated Pennridge, like so many people in our community, decided to stay here and raise families here. I don't want to bore people, but my ancestors came and been in Bedminster since 1600s, 1700s. We've been here a long time. I love this area. I'm really sad tonight. I think what I witnessed was the first coup d'etat that I've ever seen in our district. It's not pretty. And I'm not one to debate anybody's point of view. I don't know many of the new board members. I always prided myself to get to know people, who they were, understand their thinking. As a teacher, that's one of my most important things, to understand where people come from. You know, John Kennedy wrote a great book called Profiles in Courage, and he says some of the hardest things in politics, and it is politics. All life is pretty much politics, regardless of party, but it's politics. And one of the hardest things is just to share with people where you're coming from, what you're thinking, so citizens and other people can understand. I agree with so many points from so many different points of view, especially the right to know stuff. I understand. I mean, that just, as a citizen, it's like, okay, come on. It's our right. It's what this country is founded on. So the fight begins, I guess. I don't know what the fight is, but there's nothing wrong with power struggles. They happen all the time. There's nothing wrong with people using power for the betterment of what they see they want done in the community. The way that people use power, that's where things get really kind of ugly. The duplicitous ways, and I'm not saying anybody here was that way tonight because I don't have enough information. I need to learn what really went down tonight. I was told the Wall of Fame members get an extra minute. Is that true? No. Sorry, Pete. I'm sad. I'm just really sad. I don't know what's going on. I'll learn. I'll find out as much as I can. And yeah, it's not a game, folks. This is not a game. There's thousands and thousands and thousands. Forget the kids. Just like multiply it by their siblings who live here and their relatives and their parents. I hope you truly understand what the majority has undertaken. Because we're about ready to hire a new superintendent. And too bad Mr. Cox not here, but he's right. The board has 4 legal functions: hire superintendent, approve curriculum, approve a budget, and make sure the policies are passed that are legal and are going to withstand lawsuits. Because we're going to get sued all the time, doesn't matter. Just you want to make sure they're good policies. But that's what concerns me, the kind of folks that will be attracted to come here. And I guess time will tell how this unfolds, but it's a very serious time. And I hope that you've all searched your hearts and souls about what you're undertaking. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Any other comments?
Hi, my name is Amy Hoffman, and I'm a teacher here, and I just forgot my green suit.
Thank you for staying.
I don't really know enough about politics to leave when everyone leaves or to stay, or so I just will make my own decisions. But I just noticed that I want to say 2 things. I think that it's really dangerous to lump people into general groups. I think that's how wars start between people, between countries, between friends and family. And I think that everyone here really wants the same thing. And I know that this is my 18th year in the school district, and there isn't anything that I wouldn't do for any one of my kids in my class. And so I'm sure that we all really appreciate each other far more than anyone was really able to express today. And I just want to say, I know that everyone is doing the best they can. And I just want to say, whatever we're doing, to be grateful to each other, and to remember to thank each other, and that we're not each other's enemies, and that I'm very proud to be a school teacher in this district, and I just hope that you know we're not going to lump you all into a category, and I would just hope that you wouldn't lump us into a category as well. So, thank you.
I appreciate your comment and you staying and sharing your thoughts with us. Are there any other comments?
Get my piece out.
I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I'll be sorry if I don't do it. I'm very disheartened by the fact that all the staff, by and large, left. But I do really have to thank you, Ms. Hoffman, for having the unique perspective that you have. I hope that you communicate that with others in your surroundings. It would help, I think. There has been a lot that has transpired in this district in the last 12 weeks. A tremendous amount that I don't even think the vast majority of people in the community have a true understanding of exactly what has gone on. But I will say this, I will not accept what went on here Saturday again. let me be very clear. There will be no more graveyard building during detention. There will be no more Stars of David desecrated. Any way you want to cut it, it's on video. 200,000+ people. So whatever drove tonight, it needs to happen further along. Because what is going on around here in the day-to-day right now needs to stop for the benefit of the kids. Okay? There are a lot of kids right now who paid a lot of money to try to take AP exams in a week and a half. They need that time in the classroom. They do not need more distractions. You're in the middle of state testing. That needs to be fixed because the culture in this building needs to stop being ratcheted up as high as it is. Because they may not all be here on Saturday, but let me tell you, that Snapchat, that Instagram, that Facebook, that Twitter, it's incessant. So whatever happened tonight, I hope it keeps going, because it needs to for the benefit of the kids.
Thank you. Is there any other comments?
Sue Furlong, West Rock Hill Township. I was as surprised as anybody tonight. But I want to just give you a few reflections that I've had. The prior president of the board chastised common citizens every month because they would exercise their perfect right for right to know. It was antagonistic. I was glad that that was over. I hope that it would get better. I submit right to knows on a fairly regular basis, not all the time. I try not to be a complete pain, but there are things that I want to know and they're not published on the website. When I see them published on other districts' websites, so I have to take the time to write a right to know. And then I know I'm running up legal fees that I gotta pay on stuff that is perfect. It's even on other websites for other districts. But I get the 5-day delay, and then I get the 30-day automatic knee-jerk, oh, well, we don't have the staff, and we don't have this, and we don't have that. I can't ask for something that doesn't already exist. So why it takes the staff 30 days, I don't know. If it doesn't exist, I get to be told, no, we don't have it, sorry, you don't get it. I ask for things that I know exists, and I get the 30-day runaround. This board, this administration, has put a stiff arm out to the public over and over for more than 12 months. 24 months before this regime, this one didn't get much better. So I'm hoping that the new one respects the integrity of the citizen to understand and know what is happening in this district. And I remember that there was training, so I know at least that it's available if our administration has not taken the training, to inform them in generalities what is available to the public upon request. So I think that if our administrative people in the Right to Know office have not had that training, get it now. Do not keep running up the legal fees. Do not delay response. The public pays your salary. We have a right to know a lot of things that ought to be up on the website. And I shouldn't even have to wait the 5 days. And when I request things that already exist, I have a fairly decent turnaround. So I'm hoping that the new board sees to it. I hope that the administration responds, and the public is a partner with you. We pay the bills. We have a right to know.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay, I just wanted to say in response to the comments about the right to know request, I do think that's something that needs to be looked at when we hire a new solicitor on a permanent basis, the process of the right to know request, because I think it is unreasonable if you even request a copy of the board minutes that it goes through the attorney, even though they're on the website. So I think some of that needs to be looked at, and when we talk about comparing rates of attorneys, some of that is how much, you also have to compare all of the extra work that an attorney is doing at that, or how many extra hours are being spent at those rates as well. Are there any other comments from anyone?
Yeah, I want to make a comment because I might not get to see Mr. Rush or Ms. Hoffman, before you leave. But I want you to understand, and everybody to understand, that no decision that I make is made lightly. And all the points you made, Mr. Rush, about how extreme what happened tonight was, understand how much it took for me to get to that point. So I hope you appreciate all of the thought that I put into it. It's not something that I would ever do lightly. And I have tried my best to do what I thought would be better, and this is where we came to. So I hope from today going forward that it will indeed be better, but please don't think that I just woke up this morning and decided, well, boy, I'm going to shake things up tonight, okay?
Can I ask you a question?
I'll talk, we can talk after.
Yeah, she can talk to you. Any other comments from any other board members?
I have a comment, not related. My dad wanted me to tell everyone that.
Can you speak up, please?
Speak to us.
Sure. What? Oh, okay. A alumni of the school, Terry Jones, passed away. He was a football player here, and possibly, we believe, my dad and I were discussing, the first state champion. And Mr. Rush might be able to help me. Do you remember Terry Jones? I don't know if I have this, but anyway, he wanted me to have him recognized because he was a state champion in high hurdles here. That's all.
Okay, and Joan, I just want to thank you for your comments, because I agree with everything that you're saying, and I appreciate you you sharing that response. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Second, please.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.